How did I make $134,000 in my first year on Etsy? The first year on Etsy was the scariest year because that was the year I got married, I moved to a new state, I got pregnant, and I turned down 2 amazing corporate job offers to go all in on Etsy. I went from not taking Etsy seriously at all to then closing out my first full year at $134,000 in revenue. Today in this video, I'm going to give you some free, invaluable lessons that I learned on Etsy so that you don't make these same expensive mistakes. Before we continue, I would love to hear from you and see if you are interested in going all in on Etsy or if you are already doing Etsy full-time. So if you want to do Etsy full-time or if you already do it full-time, leave a comment below. I would love to see how many of you out there really want to go all in on this. Step 1, lesson 1 is do not start on Etsy casually where you're kind of half in, half out. You need to attack it like a business from day one. And I only say this because I started my business completely the wrong way. When I first started, I was very casual. I posted one listing with one photo of one product, and it was a product I didn't even have on hand. It was just a picture of something that was from my wedding. I treated this like an eBay listing. It was just really short title, not much potential. And after 2 months, this thing sold, and by that time, I had forgotten that I had an Etsy shop. So we scrambled to make it and ship it, and then I slowly started to see this more like a business. So with Etsy now, I'm posting things on Facebook, I'm going to Craigslist, and I'm doing anything to get my traffic up. I kept doing that at volume because those actions were free. And by month 4, I was hitting over $10,000 a month. I thought, oh my goodness, this could be something. And then I started to take all the principles from my corporate e-commerce career and I applied them to Etsy. And I quickly realized I should have been doing that from the very start. Nowadays, this is even more important that you start this way because that first 30 to 45 days is when you get a boost from Etsy. So if you don't start with the right strategies and you have no sales after that point, you might as well start a new shop. So make sure that the strategies you are applying are repeatable, that it's not just someone's tips and tricks that worked for them one time, and attack it from the beginning. And the second lesson is that you need to do whatever it takes to create as many bestseller badge listings in your shop as possible right away. Once something starts working for you, yes, lean into it, but rapidly expand the rest of your product mix at the same time. If you're really looking to blow up your shop, you are not going to do that in a linear way with one product that just steadily grows. It's really by one product doing well, and then another product, and then another product, and then another product. So how do you do that? You know, it's easy for me to say, build as many bestseller listings as possible. It's how you build the listing to begin with. You can actually kill the potential of a listing with how you structure it from the beginning. Or you could build it to become a power listing from day one. You know, I've worked with students who had a very successful product in Q4, and it did well because that was maybe a seasonal product. But then that holiday passes and their sales tank because they have nothing else that's selling. So you really have to become very successful with multiple products, multiple listings, multiple categories. Note, this could be the same single product that is simply positioned for different people. It doesn't necessarily need to be unique SKUs, but unique customers and unique purposes, yes, absolutely. So for example, maybe you have a tumbler that is made for teachers and it has the teacher's name on it. It does really well in Q4 for Christmas, for gifting, but then Q4 passes and that giftable teacher tumbler tanks. It's no longer selling. So then you're gonna also want to add maybe that same tumbler, but targeted towards bridesmaids, right? It could be a bridesmaid name tumbler gift. And that is something that would do really well in Q1 and Q2. And then think about, okay, later in Q2, we have graduation. So maybe do a tumbler with names for graduates on it. Then think what's next? Mother's Day, Father's Day, grandparents often celebrated at the same time. So you could do personalized tumblers with those names on them. Number 3, a big lesson I learned was to start selling things that your customers want versus only things you like. This was huge in taking my business beyond $10,000 per month. The first thing I sold, I liked. That was something that I used at my wedding. But everything after that, I really didn't like. So if your goal is to make money, I recommend emotionally detaching from the product. I talk to hundreds of Etsy sellers every month, and they show me their shops and they tell me the backstory. And sometimes it's like, well, I really like working out, so I put some leggings in my shop. And you know, I'm also a huge cat person, so I put some cat things in my shop. And their shop ends up being, a little like treasure chest of all the different things that they like. So you've got to start with one thing that serves one customer in a very compelling way. I see a lot of artists struggle with this too because they have a product that they love and they want to make other people like it too. But sometimes other people don't, and sometimes they won't. So if you are starting your shop with a product first approach, I highly recommend being very flexible and willing to pivot with that product. We actually have a 10-step opportunity checklist that will tell you if your current design or listing or an idea that you have will work on Etsy or if it's a total waste of your time. This checklist is something that we give to all of our students and they can just check things off so they don't waste their time on anything. The fourth big lesson I learned was to get your spouse on board if you have a spouse or a partner, but to also learn how to personally operate every area of the business. So my husband is active duty military, he's in the Navy, and we started the shop when he was on shore duty. So he was like in an office job. So he was mostly home and he would jigsaw out these wooden letters that we needed for our products. I was pregnant, so I was not about to do that. We realized pretty soon he would be going back to sea duty, which meant out on a submarine. So we ended up investing in a laser. Now he learned the laser first. And I remember the night before deployment when he was going to be gone for about 6 months, I was taking an actual video of him teaching me step by step what to do to troubleshoot the software and the laser. And I just remember feeling so much pressure at that point. I recommend, partner up, but also make sure that you know how to run every part of the business yourself too. And the last thing that I learned in that first year is that if you have a plan, a proven game plan, and an unstoppable mentality, that you should not be afraid to bet on yourself. The thing is, most people have one or the other. They either have a proven plan, but not an unstoppable mentality, or they have no plan, but they have this unstoppable mentality. Now for me, I had my plan. My plan was to apply corporate e-commerce principles to Etsy. My mentality is one that I will never quit. So what that looked like on a tactical level, to me, it was all free organic traffic, and my competitors are too lazy to do it. I stayed so dedicated to the business. Even when we were driving on a road trip, I have the hotspot out, I have the laptop, I'm creating listings. My husband, equally as dedicated. Date nights, yes, they were spent in the garage, troubleshooting the laser and unpacking boxes. We would make games out of building boxes and organizing inventory. So we really took this on as our family's passion and our hobby. Some families, they love to go hiking. Some families, they're Disney families. Our family, we were all about building this empire. And we really focused all of our energy onto that one thing and mastering that one thing. So most people don't want to do that, and that's why they will never see this level of success, but it is a choice. It's absolutely a choice. And if you're ready to make that type of choice where you are ready to be unstoppable and you are ready to apply the right proven strategies, that's the type of person I want to work with. We have a lot of free resources on YouTube. We have hundreds of videos, the podcast, we have checklists on our website. But if you feel like you are ready for that one-on-one private coaching from myself and my team, we would love to chat with you and see if we can even help you. If you'd like to have that conversation, it's a free call. You can just schedule it with the link below, and maybe we will talk to you soon.
I've gone from about $1,500 to $2,000 in revenue a month to currently, before the month's finished, $4,200 in revenue. I only joined multi-six-figure Etsy Blueprint about 4 weeks ago now,